Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Word to my brethren all around the world watching this video. Hope you're having a great day as you're tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. Now, we are live here on YouTube, a special New Year's Eve edition of True School Sports live on YouTube. So, hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys have a safe New Year's Day or New Year's Eve with whoever you're spending it with tonight. I'm gonna be actually, for those of you who are tuning in, because right now as I'm speaking, it's 12:23 p.m. December the 31st, 2018. There's nobody here right now, but people will be filing it, I'm sure of it, as we move on. You know, I'm gonna be just for those of you that do wind up tuning in or do wind up watching this. I will be going live twice today, so this is the first of two live hangouts. So you get two for the price of one today. You get a chance to watch me talk about the Mayweather fight today, as well as my end of the year award. But before I get into any further, let me just make sure that my settings are on point here, because sometimes I'll be doing these lives and I'm not, the things actually public, and I just be talking and nobody even has the option to come here. So let me see. It says we're public, so we should be good. But yeah, give me 1 second. We're gonna get into this Mayweather fight because there is quite a lot to talk about when it comes to that Mayweather fight. So just bear with me for like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. But yeah, give me one. All right, we're squared away now. So let's get into it, man. Floyd Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa. Okay, Japanese kickboxing champion, undefeated, 32-0. Now, look, I didn't make any videos about this fight in the build-up to it. You know, I did watch some videos on it. I did follow it vaguely. I saw the news. I read some articles. But as far as actually going out of my way to cover this fight on my channel, no, that was not something that I wanted to do. I kind of was going to watch and see how everything played out, and then we go from there. But it's created quite a fire for some of the boxing. What everybody's talking about, it is a hot topic. So I wasn't planning on doing this today, but we're doing it because it was interesting. So I'm gonna give you guys my summary of the fight. There really isn't much to summarize because the fight only lasted about 138 seconds. But let's get started, okay? So this is a fight where, first of all, they fought like extremely early in the morning or late at night over there. And Floyd Mayweather was 2 hours late to his own fight. Like, the dude didn't even show up on time to his own fight, which is not uncommon for Floyd. Like, I never met Floyd, but I know people who work in the boxing world in Vegas who've interviewed Floyd, and they say Floyd shows up late to a lot of stuff. It could be as much as 2 to 3 hours. Like, that dude does not give a damn. So he showed up 2 hours late to his own fight, right? And then he gets to his fight. 2 hours later, his son, who's supposedly a rapper of some sorts, his son walked him out to the ring. He goes into the ring. He fights this guy, Tenshin Nasukawa. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched this fight, what it felt like to me, it felt like an extended version of what he's been doing here in America in a lot of his big fights, which is, everything's in his favor. The gloves, the ring, the referee, all that stuff. Floyd's favor. So in this fight, Kenny Bayless is the referee. Like, it was literally like watching one of his fights in Vegas. Kenny Bayless is the referee. Kenny Bayless is the one officiating, and you just knew it was a farce. You knew it was a farce when it started because of the way Floyd Mayweather comes out and the way he starts fighting. He's coming out. He's not even just jabbing his way inside like he normally would. He's not even using hard feints. He's not even in his best shape. Okay. He just knows that he's coming to collect the check, to pick up the bag. What's up, Real Wrestling Podcast? What's up, man? How you doing? He's coming to collect a check, and he's coming to just to secure the bag, as they would say. And the fight was what it was. It was in the 139 seconds. What happened basically was you got Tenshin Nasukawa. He's not a boxer. He's not a top level boxer. So they took away his best weapons, which is in fact the kickboxing and whatnot. Kicks and all that stuff, and he would have gotten like a $5 million fine if he would have kicked Mayweather. So that was a no-go for him unless he wanted to get the fine. And so he was in there. He was trying his best. He was throwing punches. He actually did land a nice counter left hand, but you know he's not a hard puncher as far as being a top level boxer. Mayweather has a good chin. He's been hit by way harder punches than Nasukawa. He's been hit by Cotto's, Pacquiao's, you know, Canelo's. He's not going to really feel too much of his punch. You see what I'm saying? But I will give Nasukawa credit for a guy that's not a top level boxer. He has a good left hand. He's got some decent boxing instincts. But and I would even say this: I think he's a better technical boxer than Conor McGregor, straight up. From what I saw, from the little I saw, he has better footwork than Conor McGregor. He has better hand speed than Conor McGregor. But he's just not as big as Conor McGregor. You see what I'm saying? So. And he's not like Mayweather didn't feel like carrying him for like 9 rounds like Conor McGregor. He just wanted to go to Japan, pick up the bag, and that's it. So look, as someone who, when he was fighting, kind of went in on Mayweather when he was when he was a lot more active against top level boxers. You know, I was going on Mayweather saying that he would never go on the road and fight anybody. Well, hey, you know, it may not have been the circumstances we wanted, but he finally went on the road to another country and fought someone else, but it wasn't nobody that was the top guy in the welterweight division, so it's kind of sucks. But I'm gonna get to the comments in a minute. I just want to get through what I saw in the fight, and I'm gonna go through and address all your comments. So if you comment, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going through what I saw in the fight. So the weight for this fight would go crazy. Nasukawa came in at 137. Mayweather came in at 147. So effectively, he fought a guy that was barely a lightweight. You know, he fought lightweight, and he looked proportionally bigger than him. You could see that immediately when you saw them fight. You know, Mayweather made $9 million for this fight, for this exhibition. So in 138 seconds, this man made $9 million. And to give you guys a little perspective, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder combined made $7 million. Wilder made 4, Fury made 3, and look what they had to put themselves through to make that money. So hey, you can. It is a farce. I'm not saying it's not a farce. It's definitely a farce. It's a crock of shit. But it is something that in some ways should be applauded. I mean, he fought $9 million. He got $9 million for fighting a kickboxer. I make jokes about certain guys who fight these converted kickboxers like in boxing. But Floyd's actually doing it. He's getting paid $9 million for it. So I ain't even mad at him. Before the fight started, it is also worth noting, before the fight started, if you guys watched the fight in its entirety, I don't know why they did this. Maybe someone who's more familiar with Japanese culture can educate me, because I really don't know. But like I noticed before the fight started, before that ring announcement started, they gave Floyd and they gave Nasukawa each a bouquet of flowers. I'm not bullshitting you. A bouquet of roses. They gave them both a bouquet of roses. For what reason? I don't know, but I found that kind of funny. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Like Floyd Mayweather, he had a chance to make a lot of money. People pay, like, okay, so this is why I have a hard time really staying mad at Floyd Mayweather, because boxing, like any business in the world, it's a matter of supply and demand. Okay, you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna make money if there's no demand for this farce of a fight. So this Nasukawa Mayweather fight isn't a big fight. It's not a thing at all if the Japanese public doesn't buy into it. You see what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, there were 37,000 asses in those seats that saw Mayweather fight this guy, okay? Whether I like it or you like it or not, 37,000 people paid their hard-earned money to watch this shit. And you can't get mad at Floyd for that. Floyd just taking advantage of people who bought into, you know, this idea that this kickboxing champion could go beat Floyd Mayweather. And all he did was just what he's always done. He went in the ring, and he found a way to win. So I can't even say mad at him for that. What I will say I'm mad about, and this is more what I'm mad about. I'm not really mad about Floyd taking advantage of an easy opportunity, because shit, if I was in his shoes, if I was 40 years old, I could fight little Asian dudes, knock them out for $9 million, and then went to exhibition and turn it into Ivan Drago versus Apollo Creed and Rocky IV and make my $9 million. You know, I'd do it too. So I can't knock the man's hustle. I really can't. But what I will say I'm mad about, and I'm gonna call this channel out. I'm gonna call him out. Straight up, I'm gonna call him out, because it's just straight up dick riding, man. Like, and he's not the only channel I saw this from. Because this morning when I woke up, I typed in Floyd Mayweather versus Nasukawa, and I wanted to see like what people were saying and what was the overall like perspective of this from different people. And you know, I go on the Boxing Voice, I hear Ness, and I see all these other panelists, and he's straight dick riding Floyd like the king is back, the king is back. Like, bro, And they're saying like, oh, he still got it. They're talking about Floyd as if he's still this top welterweight. And I'm not saying Floyd Mayweather can't go in there and compete. You know, I'm sure he could go in there and compete, and he can maybe go beat some guys in the lower echelon of the welterweight rankings. But he's not going to go in there and fight Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence or even a Keith Thurman. He's not going to fight those guys. He's not going to fight those guys. He didn't even want to fight those guys when he was healthy. He didn't want to He didn't even want to like fight Kell Brook when Kell Brook had the belt and he could have been undisputed. He didn't even want that. So what makes you think he's gonna go want to go there now? You know what I'm saying is his last two fights or exhibitions, whatever the fuck you want to call them, his last two exhibitions, he's fought Conor McGregor, a MMA fighter. He fought Conor McGregor, who's an MMA fighter, and he fought Nasukawa, who was a kickboxing champion. You see what I'm saying? He's not fighting. No, he's not even fighting guys who are boxers anymore. You know, it was one thing when he was fighting and he was fighting like the Henry Bruxelles and Baldemir and all these guys that were C-class fighters. But now he's not even fighting boxers, and y'all want to still praise the guy like he's this top level boxer, like he's this great welterweight, like he's still this #1 welterweight in the world, and he's not that. You know, Pacquiao's still in there fighting guys who are world champion boxers, guys who were top level boxers. You see what I'm saying? He's fighting Broner, who I know is C-class. White says C-class fighter, but you know, his last fight he fought Matisse. The fight before that he fought Horn. The fight before that he fought Jesse Barker. He's still fighting guys who are top level world rated fighters. Mayweather's not doing that, so he's getting credit, but he's getting credit for this fight with Nasukawa, like he is doing, like he is beating these top level boxers, and that's probably what pisses me off the most. Not the performance, because he did what he had to do. He looked sensational. It was cool to watch. He got his money in an opportunity that it was easy for him. And you know, truthfully speaking, he has nothing to prove to anybody anymore. Straight up, Floyd Mayweather has nothing to prove to anybody anymore. Manny Pacquiao has nothing to prove to anybody anymore. So whatever they decide to do with their careers at this point is their prerogative. They have earned that right. But with Floyd, you know, it just pisses me off how the like even to this day the dick riding just doesn't stop from some of these boxing channels. Man, like, yeah, we get it. He was a great fighter in his day, an incredible talent. We'd never take that away from him. He really raped the whole fight game, and I give him credit for that, because you know it's a tough thing to do. What he's accomplished is no small achievement. But he's not a top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? He's not a top welterweight, so we shouldn't be talking about him like he went in there and beat a top welterweight. And the sad part is we got a lot of people with big boxing channels who have a lot of influence doing that, and it's really a shame. It's truly a shame. It is worth noting too that Nasukawa, okay, was reduced to tears. The minute he got up from the knockdown, you see him. The dude is crying his eyes out because he's been embarrassed. He's been humiliated. Credit to him, fair play to him. He took the exhibition. He tried to you know, he did what he could, but obviously you're fighting a guy who's one of the best boxers of all time, one of the top 50 best boxers of all time. You're outgunned in every department, but you had the courage to do it. So I give him the credit for that. He obviously doesn't feel good about what happened because he's been humiliated in front of his countrymen, and that's not a good feeling. But hey, hopefully he got paid well and he can go live a nice life. Floyd also did raise his hand at the end, showed some decent sportsmanship, so I'll give Floyd that as well. Now look, let's call a spade a spade. I'm using Floyd Mayweather. I always say that because I always listen to these damn Floyd Mayweather interviews. Let's call a spade a spade. And I know this from being around certain fighters who were once great, rich, high-profile boxers, but now are broke fighters, you know. And you see the stories over and over again of this guy going broke and that guy going broke and that guy going broke. The fight game, the game of boxing, the business of boxing, it's very, very unforgiving. So in knowing that so deeply and knowing that as intimately as I do, because I have friends who work in boxing who work with small promoters. Like I have a friend that works with Red Cohen Promotions, and I hear about the shady shit that goes on behind the scenes there in that arena, you know, of boxing. And I just hear all of it, and it makes me not feel as bad when I see things like this, when I see guys just going out there trying to get their money, because, you know, it's an unforgiving game. Once you hang up the gloves, or once you can no longer compete at the level you used to, or bring in the money you used to, you are a disposable utility in boxing. That's a shitty reality, but it's a reality that I know to be true. And while when I was a little younger and I didn't maybe understand this quite as deeply as I do now, I used to get very mad at Floyd. I used to get very, very, very mad at Floyd. But now I don't even get mad at Floyd anymore, because look, the guy is in his 40s. He has beaten a lot of big name fighters. Yes, were the fights where we wanted them to happen? No, they weren't. A lot of them weren't. But at the same time, when he was coming up, like I said, when he was coming up as a fighter, there was a lot of guys that weren't jumping out the boots to fight him, and they made him wait. And then once he earned his way and got to that point, he put himself in that position to call the shots, and he never ever relinquished that position. So you got to give him at least that credit, and he's still maximizing his opportunities to make money with what he knows which do best, which is the fight game, which is boxing. So I'm not mad at him, because I know like somebody that I've gotten to know on a pretty decent level over the last 3 to 4 years is my main man Riddick Bowe. Big shouts out to Riddick, Big Daddy Bowe. The man was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You know what that means? He was undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, which means that he was, for a time that he lived on this earth, for a specific period of time, he was the baddest man on the planet. He was that guy. He had all the belts. He was the best of the best in the big man division, in boxing's glamour division. And he had all kinds of things going for him. He was in TV shows. He had a sneaker deal with Fila. He had multiple houses. The guy was living large, right? And then you look at him now. You go to the Heavyweight Factory here in South Florida, and you see that Riddick Bowe maybe isn't as he's lost a lot of money. He doesn't have all that money anymore, and he's had to rebuild himself. Same thing with Holyfield on a not as bad of a scale as Bowe, but Holyfield's he's blown a lot of money himself as well, and he's went broken down. Good for him. He's doing well for himself now. But what I'm saying is, when I see things like that, when I see these big names that put themselves in some great fights, please the fans, did everything you could have wanted from a fighter, and then they just for one reason or another, they blow their money or they have it robbed or whatever the case may be. I don't get mad at Mayweather for taking these money grabs, because the fight game is unforgiving. These guys can't come back. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I don't really get as mad at Floyd anymore. I used to when I was a little younger, but again, I don't anymore. I don't think he's the best boxer of all time or anything like that. I think he's definitely legitimately a top 50, top 30 caliber boxer. And a lot of you guys who are commenting are saying, "Well, stop. He already beat Manny and all this stuff." But honestly, honestly, there's so many great fighters in the history of boxing who challenged themselves in more ways than Floyd did. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to put his career against the guys from yesteryear, when those guys didn't have the luxury of carefully picking and taking these calculated risks that Floyd did his whole career. So I don't rate him as highly as a lot of people, but he's still a great fighter, and he's someone that should be respected. He is one of the most skilled fighters. As far as fighters I've seen in my lifetime, he's one of the most skilled fighters I've ever seen, and I'll never take that away from him. So that's that. Let's get to some of these comments, man, and we'll continue reacting to this fight. Let me scroll all the way up so I can see what was being said. Let's see. So we got the Fight Scout. Hey, big shout out to the Fight Scout. Fight Scouts in here. Floyd was faster and quicker than the 20-year-old crybaby. 10 chins could help. 10 chins couldn't help. 10 chins class chin. Tenshin came in heavy, and that was a huge mistake, because he took away from the only advantage he was supposed to have, which was speed, but Floyd was just faster. I don't know much about Nasukawa. I don't follow kickboxing, but yeah, he looked very slow to me. He had some good footwork. He had some decent, instincts with his hands, but wasn't gonna do much against Floyd. KBMBP248 New York Knicks says, "Do you think he is going broke?" Do I think Floyd is going broke? I don't know. I have a couple theories about that. Because I have a couple of friends. I have 3 people that I know in boxing that are close to that are in some way, shape, or form close to Floyd, or they see Floyd. I'm not gonna reveal who they are, but the 3 people, they're all reliable. And I've heard that Floyd isn't doing as good as you think he is, and I've heard things like that. But then I've heard both things. So you just don't really know until you know. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I think he's going broke. But what I will say is I think Floyd is definitely not gonna turn down $9 million. He loves his money. He lives an extravagant, flashy lifestyle. He has an entourage. He's got leeches around him, I believe. So I think it's a necessity almost. Like these paydays are not just a want, but they're becoming a need because of the extravagant lifestyle that he has. That's what I think. But I really don't know. So who am I? Let's see. Let's go down. Let's keep scrolling down. The Real Boxing, it's Real Wrestling Podcast. It's a sign of goodwill and luck. And he's referring to how they both got a bouquet of flowers before the fight. So I didn't understand that, but thank you for educating me on that. Yeah. Made an exhibition to Creed versus Drago. Good one. Haha, nobody. Unbiased Boxing Talk says, if Floyd wants to fight a small fighter from Japan, he should have fought Naoya the Monster Inoue. That would have been cool. I mean, Inoue can't be much smaller than Nasukawa, so I wouldn't be mad at that. But again, Inoue is a world-class boxer with some decent punching power and really good boxing skills. So Floyd's not going to take that kind of a challenge right now. No, hell no. I'm not even saying that Inoue would beat him or anything. I'm just saying like it's definitely a lot more. He's going to present a lot more problems than Nasukawa did. So it's that. The fight guy said, I'm giving Floyd credit, though Tenshin is the real deal, and he made that dude look like a complete bum. Well, honestly, I don't know who the hell he is. I don't follow kickboxing. I don't know shit about him. And I just saw that he had a 32-0 record, and he was a kickboxing champion. And Floyd, did what he was supposed to do. So, I give him that. Yeah, I don't know what the hell Floyd be doing. Like he's in very good shape. He's always sparring. He's always keeps himself in pretty good shape at the nail of the gym. He's always he stays around boxing. He stays training as part of him. So he's been doing it his whole life. So it's honestly a second nature to him. So it's not surprising that he's still in shape. But yeah, that is surprising how fast he is still at his age. I'll give him that much. Fake fight. Some of y'all are saying this is a fake fight. I don't know. Fake fight? I mean, I don't know, man. It could be a fake fight, but it's hard to believe there's a fake fight when the guy is blasting the dude on his ass with flush uppercuts and the check hook that he landed on the ear was on his equilibrium, so that's why he fell. So I don't look at it. I don't look at it as something where it's like it's a fake fight. Is it a cherry pick? Is it a cash grab? Absolutely no doubt about it. But is it a fake fight? No, I don't think so. Yeah, so yeah, this fight was what it is. It is what it is. One interesting thought I had is like, obviously if you go look at any sports website right now, you can go look at Sports Illustrated, you can go look at Bleacher Report, you can go look at ESPN. It don't matter what sports outlet you go check right now. Floyd Mayweather is one of the talks of sports right now for this farce of a fight. You can call it a farce, but it's it's generated a lot of attention. He's still at his age. He still knows how to move the needle. His name, his brand, it still moves the needle. It still gets attention. And honestly, I thought to myself while I was watching this fight with Nasukawa, I thought to myself, Floyd's getting a lot of hype after this. Pacquiao's fighting Broner in 19 days. He's fighting Broner. So, like, if Pacquiao's fighting Broner in 19 days, and Floyd just fought the Japanese guy and created this big firestorm, if Pacquiao does what he's supposed to do against Broner, and then Floyd being Floyd with the kind of attention he generates and knows how to generate, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if like Floyd is ringside for the Pacquiao fight, or we see something that happens with Floyd and Pacquiao following the Broner fight. If Pacquiao goes in there and wins and does what he's supposed to do, because look, do I want to see Pacquiao Mayweather rematch? Like if it happens, damn. If they fight again, like I'll enjoy it. I'm a boxing fan. I love Manny Pacquiao. I love what he's done for boxing. When I was younger and I didn't understand a lot of things, I used to really hate Floyd and not like him. As I've grown a little older, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of Floyd, but I respect him a lot more. because I know how unforgiving the fight game is towards fighters. And if they fight, I'll watch. I'll be here covering it. You know, obviously, I would want Manny Pacquiao to win because I like Pacquiao. But in a way, like, I don't know, man. Like, in a way, I kind of just want Floyd to and once Manny like Manny Pacquiao signed on PBC, he still has ambitions of taking on top welterweights. After Manny Pacquiao has one like massive fight, I mean like one really truly massive fight left in him against like a top welterweight like a Thurman or a Garcia or a Earl Spence or whoever the case may Crawford, whoever the case may be. After he has that one last big fight, because it's not gonna happen with Lomachenko because Lomachenko ducked him. But once Pacquiao has that fight, I want him to get out the sport too, man. Because it's about time like these other welterweights, these other fighters start getting the attention. I just feel like Floyd and Manny, and as much as I love Manny, and for those of you who have followed me on my channel, y'all know I love Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is that guy. It's just time, man. Like boxing has to turn the page, and it's not a slight on them. I think these guys can be very, very valuable to pass on the knowledge to them. I think Floyd Mayweather could be a hell of a trainer. I think he'd be a hell of a trainer if he finds the right kid to mold and you know train and talk to. He could be a great trainer. Same thing with Manny. He could be a great trainer. These guys can offer themselves to be valuable resources to the next generation of boxing because the sport will go on without them. And as the days, months, and years go by, we're getting closer and closer to officially just moving on with them completely because. Like really, both of them are truly on their last leg. Floyd's not even really retired. Okay, he's fought twice in the last 2 years. He's not retired. So the boxing does need to move on. We do need to turn the page. We do need to, you know, let the Crawfords, the Thurmans, the Spences, these other guys have their moments, and then hopefully Al Haymon lets them have the moments, and they all fight each other very very soon because you know we want to see these fights. We want to see the best fight the best. We want to see the big names fight the big names, and that's just what it is, man. Hey, where are you guys getting $88 million from? Like, I keep guys throwing on this $88 million figure in the comments. It's your wrestling podcast. Yeah, you're right, man. Like, it was a great marketing opportunity. You know, Tenshin. I mean, y'all know better than I do because, again, a lot of you that are in the comments seem to know more about Nasukawa than I do. The guy has decent footwork and decent, you know, instincts in the ring for a guy who is a kickboxer. But yeah, I never seen him throw any kicks. I'm assuming that from what you guys are saying, this guy can kick like crazy. So I'll take your word for it. Damn, Fight Scott, you had to clown my boy Luke Keachley. You had to clown my boy Luke Keachley like that. Come on, man. I remember when Luke Keachley had the concussion in that game and he was crying up a storm. I remember that. It's kind of a sensitive subject as a Panthers fan, but yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah, he got the crap kicked out of him. He got up, and then, you know, the dude is crying a waterfall. Ain LaCruzzo, I don't want to say her name, but he said, I'm entertaining the idea that Floyd is trying to set up himself up as a heel to get Pacquiao Mayweather a boost in Japan. If it happens, cool. Japan tourism will likely sponsor it. You know, that's an interesting perspective, man. There's obviously a ton of money in Japan. It is also worth noting that Japan, as far as boxing goes, is a massive. Well, not in Japan. I'm thinking about, but Japan too. Japan is a massive boxing market, and when you bring a name like Floyd Mayweather over there like that, you know, you saw what it did tonight against a guy who's not even the top level boxer. 37,000 people came and saw him fight. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be made there. It's a big event, and yeah. KB MVP. Yeah, you're right, man. Like Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he has experience being a WWE character. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the guy knocked out the Big Show. Okay, the guy knocked out the Big Show on Monday Night Raw. He came and he said "show up" to the Big Show. That was it. That was all she wrote. So yeah, I mean, he has always had the personality to be a WWE superstar. He knows how to sell himself. He knows how to market himself. He would be a great heel. Like I think he's one of those heels that the wrestling world has been dying for. You know, but you know, to be honest with you, like WWE is kind of trash. It's been terrible for a while. I don't even watch it anymore. It's gone are the days of like the great heels like Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, or The Rock, or you know, the Attitude. You know, those days have gone. But I wouldn't mind seeing Floyd Mayweather go to the WWE. Makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just surprised I'm sitting here making a video about this. Like, the only reason I'm making a video about this is because it's such a massive deal. But yeah, like nothing really. But to be honest with you, I watched the fight. I saw it. The announcers, like, if you guys saw the actual fight, the announcers are just dick riding the hell out of Floyd. They're saying, "Man, Floyd Mayweather." Like they were just going crazy, talking about how he's still the best in the world and he's this and he's that. And I think that's just preposterous at this point. Like the guy can fight. The guy can fight. The guy is a hell of a talent. Had a great career. I think he's actually, in some ways, I admire his career, Floyd's career, because he was able to get control of his career. He was able to call his shots when he wanted to call his shots, and he was able to, like, you know, not be a casualty of the fight game. See what I'm saying? Because there's so many guys, there's so many fighters that get the shit kicked out of them. They get brain damage. They don't have no insurance. They don't have no money. And then once they can't fight no more, or sell pay-per-views or sell T-shirts like they used to, you know, that they are a disposable utility to the promoters. So that's why I have a hard time getting mad at this man anymore. I don't get mad at him because I've seen the fickle nature of boxing promoters in person, probably more so than most people that on earth. So I don't get mad at Floyd anymore. What I would like to see from Floyd is I would like to see Floyd really just settle into being a promoter, settle into grooming some younger fighters and getting behind him. I know it's kind of a two-sided coin with Floyd because in studying, in not just studying his career, but you know, hearing about how he treats his fighters behind the scenes. And I'll be honest with you guys, Floyd Mayweather gets a bad rap. I've heard him get a bad rap from a lot of people in the boxing world. Hold on, guys. I've heard Floyd Mayweather get a bad rap from a lot of people in the boxing world, whether it be fighters, whether it be promoters, whether it be, you know, whatever. It could be anything. He's gotten a bad rap from a lot of people in the fight game about how he treats his fighters. But honestly, I've heard a lot of stories behind the scenes about how Floyd treats his fighters too good, how he gives them advances, how he puts them up in the house, how he gives them almost exactly what they want. In some ways, he's kind of he enables his fighters, and he's almost too good to them. So, you know, I would like to see him kind of find that happy medium of being a really good boxing promoter and being someone that can groom not just a world champion fighter, but a guy that can go on to help carry the sport moving forward. Because boxing always needs stars. Boxing always needs stars. Boxing always needs people to carry the torch moving forward. And I think he'd be a valuable resource in passing that knowledge along to someone. Let's get clear my throat. Let's get to some other comments. So, It's Your Wrestling Podcast says, great coverage and thoughts. Absolutely, man. Hey, thank you, It's Your Wrestling Podcast. I appreciate the love and appreciate the support. Before I get into any more of the comments, I want to tell you guys that I'm going to be back live on later tonight. So if you're going to be around your computer in about 7 or 8 hours, around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be doing my 2018 awards. I'm going to be doing my first annual. We're going to be doing the True School Sports Brendan Taylor Boxing Awards. You know, Fighter of the Year, trainer of the year, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss that later on. My boy Alex might be here for that as well. So if you're not doing anything later on, if you don't got any plans, I'll be here around 8 p.m. You'll probably see like a notification for it pop up in your subscriptions. So just be on the lookout for that. All right, so Senpai says, just saw it. Dude got spanked, easy win for the money man. Yeah, man, it was so easy. Like, I mean, I didn't know if I was watching Floyd Mayweather or fucking Triple G. The dude just walked him down like nothing. Floyd wants a knockout so bad that he fought a featherweight who knows little about boxing. Well, that's true, man. He hasn't. I mean, he did stop McGregor last year, technical stoppage, but this was more devastating than the McGregor fight. This is much more devastating than that. This is the most devastating Floyd Mayweather has looked since he was knocking the shit out of Victor Ortiz. So, how many do you think expected that? What, Floyd knocking the dude on his ass? I mean, I wasn't surprised. I mean, but I was when I heard about this event, I was thinking about, Floyd's gonna go in there, he's gonna throw his touch jabs, run around the ring, move, circle, slip, weave, smother, tie him up, 3 rounds, go home, $9 million, UD. No, that's not what he did. He wasted no time. He got there 2 hours late, beat the shit out of the dude, picked his money up, went home. Like that's literally what it was. So, hey, I ain't even mad about it. Wow. Okay. They met in Japan. They did meet it. Oh, you're right. They did meet in Japan. You're right. I remember that. Are you talking about? I am. Are you talking about when they were in a club or somewhere? They were in some room and there was lights and it was dark and Floyd is here and Manny's here. I saw that. I remember that. So you're right. They did meet in Japan. So there's a lot more to this than we think. And Floyd always said it's not chess, it's checkers. He's always thinking 5 steps ahead. I appreciate that. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for the sub. Yes, that's the only reason why they wouldn't even bring up Manny Pacquiao. That's the only reason they wouldn't bring up Manny Pacquiao. Yet, at least, because he still has to make sure he holds up his end of the bargain and that he defeats Adrian Broner and that he makes sure that he doesn't just look good, but he looks sensational so that the public in America and Japan as well and around the world will demand that he fight Floyd Mayweather. It's a very good observation. Very good observation. So, yeah, I ain't even mad at it, man. I'd be very interested to see, because Floyd has not gotten like if you go look at his physique, if you go look at Floyd's physique and just the shape he's come into for these 2 fights with McGregor and Nasukawa, he has not come in at peak condition because he hasn't had to come in at peak condition because he's fighting guys that are not at his level. You see what I'm saying? And it'll be interesting to see if Manny beats Broner, which we think he will, and they sign their contract for the rematch. It'll be interesting to see if Floyd, what kind of condition he comes into the fight with. Will he have that peak conditioning? Will he get up for a Pacquiao fight? That's something I look forward to. So yeah. LR Chiga says, looked fixed to me, man. The little Japanese dude never got a clean hit, or he has a price level chin. Well, actually, you're wrong. You're wrong about that because in the early parts of round 1, or the only round of the fight, the only parts of the fight, he landed a counter left hand squarely on Mayweather. It just he didn't have that kind of punching power to hurt Mayweather, so it seemed like it did nothing, but he landed it. Yeah, that is interesting, man. Maybe Floyd's on PED. He's probably on PEDs. Who knows? They're all on PEDs, as far as I'm concerned. That didn't take away from the skill level, but they're on PEDs. They're on PEDs. Yeah, man. Again, for those of you who are funneling in and out of here, I want to let y'all know, just so you know, I'll be live later on today, in about around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my 2018 awards. So I'll be getting my awards for each fighter. My first time doing this, so it should be fun. Let's see. Who else we got here? And we got some comments coming in. I love podcasts like these. I love podcasts like these. If you guys can keep it neutral, objective, I'll listen, even if you're from the LDVC. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Like that's a struggle for me sometimes to keep things objective. At times, I'm not gonna lie, because you know, there's some fighters I just like. You know, I like Tyson Fury. I like Roman Gonzalez. You know, those guys I like. But it is something that I'm continuously working on to not be or come off as biased. I'm just, you know, I'm trying not to come off as biased. So yeah, I'm trying to stay objective as objective as possible. Sebastian Santana, what's up, man? What's up, champ? What's up, young champ? Big shout out to Sebastian Santana. I got a chance to watch him spar. Young kid here in South Florida. He said, I think Floyd still beats Pacquiao if they have a rematch. And that's his opinion, man. I think Floyd beats Pacquiao in the rematch. Honestly, I don't know who will win the rematch. And I don't even care who will win the rematch. I'm still of the mindset that really the first fight, and I know this is unpopular, I just think the first fight with Pacquiao and Floyd, I thought it was either a draw, because I watched so many times. I scored it either a draw or I thought Pacquiao won the fight. And I can get into that if you want. I thought Pacquiao won the fight, and I think it was a draw. I don't think Floyd won. I'll tell you why. If y'all want to know why I think Pacquiao won the first fight, we can talk about that as well. You know, I'll give you my biased opinion of why I think Pacquiao won the fight. Oh, okay. You said that Nasukawa didn't get hit with a lot of hard shots. That they were grazing shots. Well, if you go back and you look at the one, I think it was at the first knockdown, Floyd landed a check left hook on Nasukawa, and it landed right here squarely on his equilibrium. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever been hit in your equilibrium, but if you get hit there with the right amount of force, it's enough to put you squarely on your ass. And I thought Floyd's ended that punch a lot of times on world-class fighters or professional boxers, and it's hurt them. So if he landed that punch against someone who's not, you know, a top-level boxer who didn't really see the punch coming, you know, I thought it wasn't fake. I thought that shot was the real deal. Same here. I didn't really watch it with clear sound, so I don't know. Floyd's shots sound like bricks. Oh, that's why. You know what? That's why Floyd's punches sounded so hard, because I didn't even realize that. I didn't pay no attention to that. Floyd, they were using kickboxing gloves. So kickboxing gloves, if you've ever worn them before, they're like super light. They're like I'm someone like I don't spar or train like I used to, but you know, I do have a bag in my backyard here. And I wear 16-ounce gloves. Like I train in 16-ounce gloves, and you know, for my size, I think I punch decently hard. When I put on anything below 16, I feel like I am a dangerous man. So Floyd Mayweather being a great boxer, he is. When he puts on kickboxing gloves, he's liable to fucking kill someone. It's that much of a difference. You see what I'm saying? So good. Thank you for whoever pointed that out, because those things are like nothing. It's like wearing paper on your hands. Okay, so y'all want to know why I think Manny Pacquiao beat Floyd. Okay, so we'll start with this, man, and I want to talk to you guys about boxing, because before I tell you why he won, I have to preface everything I'm saying so you understand how I'm explaining things. In boxing, right, people judge fights based on the two fighter styles coming into the ring. So how a fighter fights, or the style that people are accustomed to seeing them fight, has a big bearing on how you will score a round or a fight. So, for example, Floyd Mayweather is looked at as a master boxer, a guy that's likes to fight on his back foot. He dictates pace. He counters when he wants to counter. He moves when he wants to move. That's what Floyd does. Manny Pacquiao is looked at as a guy who throws a lot of punches. He throws 1,000 punches. He is an aggressive, you know, boxer puncher. You know, he's more a puncher than he is boxer. I would say he's more puncher boxer than he is boxer puncher. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. And the thing is, when you have a guy who fights at a certain pace in a certain manner, and he fights at that same pace and manner, as opposed to a guy like Pacquiao, who people are accustomed to seeing throw 700 to 1,000 punches around. If Manny Pacquiao doesn't throw 700 to 1,000 punches, and Floyd just fights the way he normally fights, then people are just going to look at the fight and say, well, Floyd won. And I think that's not the case with Floyd and Manny. And here's why I think that because, like, okay, if you go back and watch the fight, right, a lot of these shots that Floyd would land on Manny, or land that the counting block is counting and that people were counting, a lot of them were he was cuffing a lot of his shots. He was throwing punches that would land on Manny's gloves. Manny, believe it or not, if you go back and you really watch and study the fight, Manny actually showed a lot of craft and a lot of skill in the Mayweather fight. He showed really good patience to back Mayweather up, which is not a very easy thing to do. A lot of guys have tried to sit there and fight Mayweather and get him to fight back, and only a few have accomplished that. Like, Corley accomplished that. Sam Judah accomplished that, getting Mayweather to sit there and trade with them. But very few fighters have, with their own willpower, been able to back Floyd Mayweather up. And Manny Pacquiao's patience, Manny Pacquiao's craft, his inability to not get hit, the angles he would take, the little ways he would touch Floyd to the body, it had Floyd on the retreat for the majority of the fight. That's why you didn't see Floyd. Floyd Mayweather's a guy, and I don't care if you go back and you watch his fights with Berto, you can watch fights with Canelo, definitely watch his fight with Victor Ortiz. Any fight you watch of Floyd is someone who, he's very comfortable operating within the pocket. But if you go watch the fight with Manny Pacquiao, he was not fighting in the pocket with Manny. He was very much because you can't even say he was boxing or whatever. He was retreating from Manny Pacquiao. Anytime he felt Manny Pacquiao touching to the body, if he felt a pot shot to the stomach, if he felt anything from Manny Pacquiao, he either tied him up or retreated. And people looked at that, and they looked at Manny Pacquiao, how his punch output wasn't as high, because he was a lot more. Manny Pacquiao had to be more patient in this fight, because if he opens up with 700, 800 punches, Floyd gonna be countering him all night. So Manny knew that. Manny picked his shots a lot more selectively. Manny was, he was slipping under a lot of Mayweather punches. He was blocking a lot of shots with his gloves, and Mayweather didn't know how to handle the craft of Manny Pacquiao. So Mayweather was resulting to a lot of excessive holding. He was throwing these right hands, but they weren't really they weren't really landing. And I just think, for me personally, I thought Manny Pacquiao was landing the cleaner, more effective shots. I thought, even though Manny fought, and this is what I'm going to explain to you guys. Even though Manny Pacquiao fought in a style that we never see him fight in, I still think he dictated the pace of that fight. You see what I'm saying? Because although Floyd was moving and the fight didn't have a lot of punches thrown, Manny Pacquiao was still the one who was backing Floyd up. Manny Pacquiao was the one pushing the fight. Manny Pacquiao was the one that, when he would land punches, they were the more effective punches. They were the ones that would have Floyd on the retreat. And you never saw Floyd sit in the pocket. You never saw Floyd back Manny up. You never saw Floyd do any of that stuff. So, I scored the fight when I watched the fight. When I watched the fight, and I've watched it about 7 or 8 times since May 2nd, 2015. I've scored it 6-6 a couple times. I've had it a draw a couple times, and I've had it 7-5 for Manny Pacquiao a couple times. But I think Manny won the fight, regardless if I think Manny won the fight or if it was a draw. The fight sucked. No doubt about the fight. The fight was not an exciting fight. It was not the most tactically brilliant fight. But I thought Manny won. I think if Mayweather wasn't viewed and regarded as such a high master boxer, and let's just say he was just some regular fighter, with not as big of a name, I think Manny would have got a decision. But it is what it is. I don't think because the crazy thing is people always have this revisionist history of the fight, and they'll say things like, "Oh well, Floyd went in there and he schooled Manny Pacquiao." He didn't school Manny Pacquiao. Absolutely not. Schooling is when you dominate rounds, when you really show your class, when you show that there is a distinct difference between your opponent. So if your opponent is here, you're here. That's like schooling a fighter. Schooling is like, when he fought Canelo, he was schooling those guys, okay? Schooling is like when Manny Pacquiao fought Lucas Matisse. That's schooling a fighter. This was no schooling. This was a close fight. This is a fight where Floyd stuck to what he was doing, and he knew that he had the superior, as far as technical boxing skills. He knew he had the superior boxing skills, and it was a fight where Manny Pacquiao made the adjustments. He actually lowered his punch output. He didn't allow Floyd Mayweather to have as many opportunities to counterpunch him. And Manny Pacquiao, I think in that fight with Floyd Mayweather, go back and watch it. Manny Pacquiao showed a lot of craftiness in that fight, and he didn't get the credit he deserved for it. So, yes, what Arta Banis or Banu said, basically Pacquiao beat Floyd in that fight with Floyd's own game. Yes, Manny Pacquiao beat Floyd Mayweather in a fight punch output favor Floyd Mayweather. That's exactly what I'm saying. 7-5 Manny. Because it's hitting someone more, and Floyd got hit a lot. Floyd missed those not to be schooling. That was to be propagandized. Yeah, like if you were to take the last 10 fights, like the last 10 fights Floyd Mayweather's had, and you don't even look at who he fought, just look at his performance. Look at Floyd's performance, and you say how high of a level did Floyd Mayweather perform in this fight. When you look at the Pacquiao fight, I would definitely say the Pacquiao fight is the fight where Floyd Mayweather performed at his lowest level, and that wasn't because he was old. It wasn't because he sucks. No, it was because of the guy he had in front of him, Manny Pacquiao. And if you go watch some of the interviews that Floyd has had, where he's a little bit more level-headed, and he talks about Pacquiao, he says himself, he says it out of his own mouth, I see why Manny Pacquiao is such a great fighter because of the angles he takes. You know how crafty he is. He said that himself. So if he's saying that himself in his own way, he's saying, "Look, Manny Pacquiao was way more than I thought he would be. I thought he was just a guy who threw a lot of punch, but no, the angles he takes, the way he just does things in the ring, I didn't expect that." Sebastian Santana says, "Imagine if Mayweather fought Pacquiao when he was younger. Then Pacquiao would have won." I mean, I think Pacquiao would have won. I think 2009 Pacquiao, the guy that fought Margarito, I mean, he was operating at such a high level. The punches he was throwing, the punches he was landing. I still think the fight would have been a little similar in terms of Manny Pacquiao's punch output lowering. I think you would have saw his punch output lowered to like somewhere around 500 to 600 punches. I think the Mayweather fight in 2015 to like 300, 400 punches. So I think he would have given himself a better chance to really hurt Floyd, because in the third round, look at the counter left hand he landed in the third round. I mean, you don't see fighters land counter punches like that against Floyd, and the body shots he was throwing. You know, Manny Pacquiao went to the body a lot more in this fight with Floyd, and Floyd felt the body shots, and that's why Floyd was so defensive all night. So yeah, I thought Pacquiao would have won. Yeah, Mayweather is older than Pacquiao. They're both. I mean, he is older than Pacquiao, but I mean, regardless, I think Manny. I still think to this day, and I know I'm in the vast minority. There's the minority of people who think this, but if people ask me, Brendan, who was the best fighter of the Mayweather Pacquiao area, I always say it was Pacquiao. Because I thought Pacquiao, for one, I thought Pacquiao beat Mayweather. That's one. I thought Pacquiao beat Floyd when I watched it back. And then like look at what's happened since the Pacquiao Floyd fight. Floyd has literally not fought anybody since he fought Pacquiao. He fought Berto, C-class fighter. He fought McGregor. He fought Nasukawa. Pacquiao, meanwhile, has been fighting top level fighters. He fought Jesse Vargas when Jesse Vargas was champion. He fought Jeff Horn. Yeah, that fight was a cherry pick, but Jeff Horn, he went to his home country and he fought him. That bigger man, he fought him. A lot of people thought he beat him. You know what? Got robbed. Then he came back. He fought Matisse. Guy that's still, hard puncher. A lot of people were saying before the fight, and I say before the fight, that Matisse could really put his lights out, and Pacquiao retired him and beat the shit out of him. Now he's fighting Adrian Broner, and he's 40 years old. So just look at like what Pacquiao continues to do to this day. Look at the Mayweather fight. Look at how he showed his craft in that fight. And I don't know, man. To me, Pacquiao, and he did more unprecedented things in boxing. Winning a world title, eight weight classes. He was lineal champion in what was it, like 4 or 5 weight classes. He was willing to fight the likes of Paul Williams until Paul Williams lost. He had the contract signed. I think he was going to fight Paul Williams, and Paul Williams lost. I think it was Martinez or Quintana. So the man has challenged himself like no other fighter in boxing of his time. No fighter in boxing has challenged themselves like Manny Pacquiao. You know, the only guys that are really challenging themselves like that are the likes of like, you know, I would say someone like maybe like Lomachenko, who's moving his weight class, but you know, he didn't want to fight Pacquiao, he ducked him. And then Roman Gonzalez has challenged himself a lot. You know, you have guys like that. You have, you know, just guys like that. But it's very, nobody's really challenged like Pacquiao. Even comparing those guys to Pacquiao, I think is almost disrespectful to what Pacquiao in the ways he's challenged himself in his boxing career. So that's just how I see it. Yeah, a lot of people say that about. Well, you know what? I'm gonna disagree with that. That's actually I don't agree with I don't agree with that, because people always say Manny Pacquiao he was never the same and became a lesser fighter after he lost to Marquez. But I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with you about the Marquez knockout. So when he lost to Marquez, right? When he lost to Juan Manuel Marquez, and he got knocked out in devastating fashion. You know, he was whooping his ass the whole, like he was whooping his ass, and then all of a sudden, shoom, that's it. He's laying on the floor like he's at the beach, and he's knocked out. I think that fight, to me, made Manny Pacquiao a better fighter. And the reason I think it made him a better fighter, because if you go back and you look at go watch all Manny's fights after the Marquez fight, you can go watch Algieri, you can go watch Rios, Mayweather, Vargas, Horn, all of his recent fights with Tissé. What Manny Pacquiao has learned to do, and Bradley as well. I forgot he fought Bradley again. I mean, beat Bradley again. All these guys he's fought since then, he's learned how to throw lots of punches, but he's become more defensively responsible. He still gets hit. We're not going to confuse him with Floyd. He still gets hit because he makes himself available to get, because he throws so many punches, but he throws less punches. He picks them more wisely. His punch selection is a lot better, and he's not as wild. He doesn't lunge in as much. He's a lot more smoother with the way he comes in and attacks. So I actually think it's made him a better fighter, believe it or not. Which is why I think he had, you know, since the Floyd fight. I mean, since the Floyd fight, he's fought Bradley, he's fought Algieri, he's fought Rios, he's fought. Since the Marquez fight, I mean. He's fought Algieri, he's fought Rios, he's fought Bradley, he's fought Floyd, he's fought Matisse. You know, he's not really fighting a murderer's row of punchers, but to be fair, he hasn't gotten knocked down. Manny Pacquiao has not gotten knocked down. He really hasn't been that hurt, really all that hurt, you know, excluding maybe the Jeff Horn fight, but that was mainly from more head clashes than anything. So Manny Pacquiao hasn't gotten hurt. He hasn't gotten knocked down since the Marquez knockout. And the reason for that is because he's learned how to pick his shots a lot more wisely. He doesn't lunge in as much. There's a lot less of that, and that's where he becomes a better fighter, in my opinion. When I watched the Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao fight live, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. I wasn't living where I'm living now. I lived in a different house. I had a big fight party at my house. There were literally like 17 people, and I didn't have a big living room. There were literally 17 people in my living room, and I was scoring the fight. But you know, when you factor in everybody who was around me watching the fight, you factor in the bias-ass commentary that I began to rely on because I couldn't really hear much of anything because people in my house were so damn loud and there was so much going on. I had when I watched it live, initially when I watched it the first time, I thought Floyd just edged Pacquiao out. I thought maybe like 7-5, maybe even 8-4 scorecard. But a lot of that, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of that was me being influenced by the scorecard. In the 8 times that I've watched it since, I've seen the same fight. Pacquiao being more effective than the announcers gave him credit for, and Floyd not being as effective as the announcers gave credit for. You see what I'm saying? So I had like 7-5 for Floyd when I watched it live. Yes, Pacquiao fought stiffer competition. And I mean, I always use one example. I always use. I don't know if this video is still on YouTube, but there was a video once upon a time when Antonio Margarito was coming up, and he was like the boogeyman of the welterweight division. Nobody wanted to fight him. Margarito pulled up on Floyd and said, "I want to fight you," and Floyd says, "No, I'm not going to fight you. That's not a good business decision." And he just kind of sideswiped him, and he never fought Margarito. So Pacquiao had to come and clean up the mess. And Pacquiao had to beat the shit out of him. You see what I'm saying? You know, before Floyd fought Cotto, Pacquiao fought Cotto. You know, so I'm just saying, man. Like Pacquiao, the 2008 to 2010 Pacquiao, that was one of the most magical runs we'll ever see in boxing. The way he was beating up these guys, the Cotto, Margarito, Clottey. You know, it was so sensational to watch. I mean, box office stuff. Yeah, there were so many feints in that fight. Manny was feigning a lot. Flo was feigning a lot. It was just like that they're having seizures. um, okay. Now, I had to explain this to my boy sitting over there named Alex. We did a video, all right? He did Doug Lomachenko, okay? He dug Lomachenko. And I'm going to tell you why, because he's used the same exact logic you're using. You can't duck someone who's not around your weight class. Okay, I agree with you. If a guy wants to, if a guy who, for one, is a bigger name than you, could advance your career, and is also a guy who you stated on the past, you will fight him at lightweight. You will fight him at 135. If he says he will go down to 135, he will cut the weight, he will go down to 135 to fight you. He will make the concession to fight you. And you don't fight him because you say some bullshit like, oh, I don't want to fight him because I don't want to beat an old man. I mean, that's a duck. Because the guy is willing to make the concessions to fight you. It's a known fact, okay? It's a known fact that Manny Pacquiao, he walks around at like 140. He has to eat his way up to 147. Now, I don't know if many of y'all know that. He has to eat his way up to 147. 147 is not his natural weight class. He walks around closer to 140 than it is 147. So it'd be no problem for him to go down to 135. No problem. No problem. And Lomachenko, his manager says that Lomachenko's manager says that, oh well, we don't it's crazy to fight this guy because he's 4 weight classes too big and it's like fighting Sergey Kovalev and yada yada yada. But then you have the fighter saying, I don't want to beat an old man, but you're still saying, you're implying that you're going to beat him. You're showing a subtle arrogance that you're going to beat him. I don't give a shit in what tone you say it in, how you try to make it politically correct. You're still saying you can beat him, and the man is saying he wants to fight you. And truth be told, Manny Pacquiao wanted to make the concessions. He called him his bluff. When he called him his bluff, Loma changed his tune. And that's that. There's no twist about it. So for that, it's a duck. I don't care what you guys say about it. I mean, and then it's funny because in that same video when I was talking about my friend Alex, and he's not the only person I've heard say this. I've heard people say, well, if he beats Lomachenko, then he's not going to get any credit. He's not going, or if he beats Pacquiao, he's not going to get any credit. He doesn't want to get criticized. You know, he doesn't want to fight a smaller guy. But it was okay for him to go fight Rigondeaux. You know, he didn't mind getting criticized for that. And why did he get criticized? And why did he take the fight? Oh, because he knew he could beat Rigondeaux. And it's not the same thing with Pacquiao. He knows that I'm sure as a fighter, being as confident as he is and being as skilled as he is, he should believe that I'll beat Manny Pacquiao, but there's not as much certainty there. There's not as much assurance there that I can beat Pacquiao. And that lack of assurance and that risk that comes with that lack of assurance has prevented him from fighting Manny Pacquiao. He's sideswiped Pacquiao. See what I'm saying? So it is a clear duck. Rigo called him out. Okay, so Rigondeaux called him out. Okay, Manny Pacquiao said I'll fight him. Manny Pacquiao didn't call him out and say, oh I want to fight that. But Manny Pacquiao said, look, I'll make the concessions. I'll fight him 135. That's enough right there. If you're Lomachenko, your job. And let's be real. Let's be 1,000% real. I don't give a shit if you're talking about Linares. I don't care if you're talking about Rigondeaux. I don't care if you're talking about Walters. Go through Lomachenko's whole resume. I don't care what you're talking about. This version of Manny Pacquiao right now, even at his advanced age of 40 years old, is better than everybody. Everyone. I don't care what ranking they held. I don't care what title they had. I don't care about none of that shit. Whoever I'm talking about in terms of the skills he possesses, how dangerous of a threat he is to Lomachenko, Manny Pacquiao is better and he's more dangerous than anybody Lomachenko's ever fought. if you disagree with that, I'm willing to have that debate with anybody. A big man should never call out a way smaller guy, but if a smaller guy calls out, but Manny Pacquiao's not way bigger than Lomachenko. That's the thing. He's like, he walks around at 140. He walks around at 140. What are you talking about? Like, oh my God, bro. Y'all just don't want to see Lomachenko lose. Like, that's what it is, man. Like, y'all don't want to see this man. Like I like Lomachenko. I think he's a great fighter. I think, you know, he would clown most of these lightweights. That's why I want to see him fight Pacquiao. That's really a challenge for him. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all don't want to see Lomachenko lose or be put in a fight where he might be able to lose. I mean, look, he fought Linares. He was down on the scorecard to Linares before he got the stoppage. Okay? I mean, I like Lomachenko, but if we look at him objectively, when he fought, I know he's a much different fighter than he was then. So I'm not using this as an example as to who he is now. But it's still a bit of a blueprint that fighters can use. Lomachenko, and even with Linares, because Linares did some of the same things Salido did. All those guys really did with Lomachenko was push the pace, get off first. You know, they did it in different ways, but it was essentially the same. The base of the game plan was the same. Push the pace, get off first, press the action. And Lomachenko struggled with both of them. Pacquiao would be able to do that no problem, especially at a lighter weight. At a lighter weight, which is actually closer to more to his walk-around weight, I think Pacquiao probably punched maybe a little harder. He'd be sharper. He would have to eat his way up to 147. He'd probably seem a lot faster. I think he is more dangerous for Lomachenko at 135. I mean, come on, man. I mean, look, that's one thing that nobody's gonna be able to unconvince me of. I think Lomachenko clearly ducked Manny Pacquiao, because if a guy says he can cut down the weight and make the weight, and he decides to fight you, then and you said in the past you'll fight him at the specific weight. It'd be one thing if Lomachenko never said in the past, "Oh, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao at 135." If he never said that, fine. And then all it would be was just Pacquiao looking to call out this, you know, smaller fighter. But that's not what happened. What happened was Lomachenko stated himself, "I will fight Manny Pacquiao at 135." He said that out of his own damn mouth. He said that. And Manny Pacquiao has called the bluff and said, "You know what? I'll cut down to 135." And then when he calls him on the bluff, then he says, "Well, you're too old. I don't want to fight you." That's bullshit, bro. Like, I don't care what he says. So, it is what it is. This man says, "I can't wait till Broner knocks this dude out." I mean, hey, if Adrian Broner knocks Manny Pacquiao out, that'd be quite the story, because Adrian Broner has never knocked out or stopped any world-class fighter ever in his whole career. He's never stopped a fighter as good or even remotely close to as good as Manny Pacquiao. So, if he does it, fair play to him. I'll be the first one here to say, yo, Adrian Broner, not only was that a great performance for him, but he has earned himself a big fight in the welterweight division, because he beat Manny Pacquiao. But yeah, I'm agreeing with my man LR. You know, I think Broner is getting battered. He's getting battered. He's getting pieced up. He's getting destroyed. He's getting clowned. Whatever adjective you want to use, he's going to definitely be losing. Errol Spence is the only young fighter with potential these days. Well, yeah, you're wrong about that. He's the only young welterweight at the top level right now who I think you could say, who you see with potential. You know, Keith Thurman is still in the mix. I think Keith Thurman is going to be someone that can give anybody problems if he's right and he's truly engaged. You know, his boxing IQ is what separates him from a lot of these welterweights. You don't want to rule Keith Thurman out. Keith Thurman's still in the picture, so you got him. But I want to talk about these prospects, man. There's one prospect. There's two prospects in general, welterweight prospects, who I think are going to be really, really good fighters. Both world championship type of skill sets. I don't know if they're both world championship fighters yet, because I don't know what kind of mental makeup they have, because I haven't seen either one of them to take a true step up fight yet. So we'll know more about when they take their step up fights. But as far as their skills, what they're showing so far, I mean, Josh Kelly and Jaron Ennis. Oh my God, man! Both these guys, I think, are going to be coming for all the smoke at welterweight in the next 2 years. And that might be one of the fights to be made at welterweight in the next couple of years. I really think it's something that we'll be looking forward to seeing. Let's see. More really disappointed. He and Inoue were the guys that were supposed to be following the guys I was supposed to be following once Pac retires. Yeah, like, and look, Inoue is another one. Inoue is another one. I love Inoue, and I talk about him the same way I talk about Lomachenko. I love watching him fight. I think Inoue is one of the top 5 pound pound fighters in the world. I think he's an amazing fighter. Anytime he fights, I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna cover his career. I love Inoue, and I truly wish the monster, Naoya the monster, Inoue, nothing but the best, because that dude could fight his ass off. But we gonna call a spade with him too. He ducked 2 fighters as well. He ducked Roman Gonzalez in 2014. Clearly, he ducked Roman Gonzalez in 2014. That's if any of you just go do some basic research, you'll go see that Inoue ducked Roman Gonzalez in 2014, and then jumped up from 108. He went from 108, completely bypassed flyweight, which Roman Gonzalez was, and he went up to 115, and he fought an old 39-year-old Omar Narvaez. Then when it came time to really find the other best guy at 115 in Rongvisai, he said, "Oh no, I can't make the weight anymore," and ducked Rongvisai. You see what I'm saying? So that's another one. I like him, great fighter, but still. My man Ped, P-E-D, Ped. Big shout out to my man Ped, man. He was crucifying me in the comments the other day. It's all forgiven, but good to see you, man. He says, I like your wall. Have some autographs too. Well, no, on my wall, have I ever shown you guys have I ever broken down my wall for you guys before? Like, I know one time I redecorated it on a live, but have I ever broken down the wall for you? This is a dope little wall I put together here. I think in 2019 I might do some editing to it again, because as good as it is now, I might want to just revamp it a little bit. Yeah, like we got let's see, on my wall. There's no, well, to Ped, to what you were saying, on my wall, I don't have any autographs on this wall. I have autographs I mean, I have laminated autographs, but they're not real. Like, I didn't actually get them. Like, I have over here. Like, if you go look over here. Look over here. It's Larry Holmes in this part. Mike Tyson over here. And if you come over here, right here we've got Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, got the Joe Louis Max Schmeling picture. If we go over there to that corner, there's a picture of Amir, the young master imam. Yes, I do have a picture of Amir, young master the imam, on my wall. Terrence Crawford's up there, for those of you who say I used to hate him. Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor. We got this fictitious poster between Rocky Marciano and Ali. We got Mayweather versus Jose Castillo right here. Holyfield picture here. We got this picture of some dog with boxing gloves on that someone got for me. And then we got a picture over here. This one right here, it's a picture of my first ever boxing interview. That's when I interviewed Shannon Briggs. My first ever interview, so it's a sentimental picture. But yeah, that's the wall. Oh, Chris Bird is right here. But you can't forget about Chris Bird. So Spence beats Porter. I think Spence beat Porter. All this ducking talk is stupid to me. If Inoue is a ducker, he wouldn't have participated in the World Boxing Super Series. He just outgrew Superfly. Well, okay, that's a fair point. Maybe he did. Okay, he joined the tournament. I'll give you that. But he was at 115, and if you guys remember, it was actually a year ago to this day. On December 31st last year, he had his last fight at 115 against the Frenchman Jan Boyot. Okay, he fought Jan Boyot a year ago on this day. If you guys remember that fight, I'm just saying maybe he outgrew the weight, or he was outgrowing the weight, but that's the one fight he should have definitely had before he left 115. Is Rongvisai, and it left the sour taste in my mouth that he didn't fight that guy. That's all I'm saying. But I do like him. I rate him as a fighter. Yeah, man. Yeah, Pet. If you just go on my channel and just go look at the interview section, I've interviewed quite a lot of fighters. I mean, I haven't been able to interview as many recently, but I mean, I've interviewed like Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Shannon Briggs, Chris Bird, Larry Holmes, Vladimir Klitschko, Terrence Crawford. I mean, Saddam Ali. Lot of guys. I lost track. Respect to you though. Put Rocky versus Thunder. I should put Ivan Drago up here. You know what? I might do a poll. You know what? I might do a poll later on. Like, what boxing posters do you guys want to see on my wall? Maybe if you guys start sending me some, I can get a PO box or something. Y'all can start sending me some boxing posters, and I'll start designing my wall based on whatever my subscribers send me. Maybe we'll do something like that, something different. But yeah, no, like the reason I'm saying like Inoue is a great fighter. Like, I'm not taking anything away from the monster. The monster can fight his ass off. He is legitimately top 10, top 5 pound for pound. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm just saying like he's had some calculated, risks, and he sideswiped a couple fighters that I thought he should have fought. A lot of people make it like because if you go back and you go look at, there's articles you can find on boxing scene of when Roman Gonzalez said in 2014. Roman Gonzalez said on Christmas of 2014, he said, "I want to fight the Omar Narvaez Naoya Inoue winner," right? And people were saying in the comment section all the way back then, even before Inoue had really even done anything, they were saying that Inoue would be too much for Roman Gonzalez even back then. You see what I'm saying? So it was still a fight that people thought was a legitimate fight back then. But he bypassed an entire weight class to not fight Roman. So how could it not be a duck? You know what? That would be a good wall. If I made a wall with the lineal heavyweight champions, that would be good. I mean, there's a couple walls in this house. Like, I have another wall on the other side of my little apartment that's completely empty. So I might experiment with that wall, but this is like the real wall. So I don't know. This might be. I might keep this kind of similar, and I might go mess with the wall over there. I don't even know what bald bull versus little man, what that is. You might have to explain that one to me. I mean, look, he's in the tournament, so I think the best way to redeem himself, for Inoue, the best way he could have redeemed himself was to enter the World Boxing Super Series. So I'm not. That's why I'm not as mad at him as I am, let's say, a Lomachenko, who clearly ducked Manny Pacquiao. Okay, Inoue has redeemed himself. But still, like, I really wanted to see those fights. Like, there was not one fight in boxing. There was no fight in all of boxing that I wanted to see more than Roman Gonzalez versus Inoue, and it just didn't happen. So it kind of sucks that it didn't. After the tournament, which I believe he'll win, he can be top 5. When could he have fought Roman? He got KO'd wrong side right after and got 2 fights canceled after that. Roman was not active. Okay, he could have fought Roman, and I know this to be a 1,000% fact because I actually went. I was there. I was there in person. I saw Naoya the Monster Inoue. He's not much bigger than me. I saw the monster himself. He came all the way from Japan to California, and he sat in the crowd for Roman Gonzalez's fight with Carlos Cuadras at the Forum. And that was a fight that HBO and all parties involved were looking at doing back then. And the reason the fight didn't happen was because HBO and Inoue, they didn't make Roman Gonzalez an offer that he thought was fair. And I agree with them. Like, I actually agree with Roman because at the time, the dude had literally done more at that point in time. Because, you got to remember, at that time, Lomachenko hadn't really done as much as he done. Usyk was still coming up. Roman Gonzalez was doing more than anybody at boxing at that point. He had destroyed Akira Yagashi, the lineal champion, in Japan. So he was a lineal flyweight champion. Then he goes on his rampage. He destroys Edgar Sosa. outboxes McWilliams Arroyo, who was an Olympian, destroys him. And at that time, you know, Arroyo was coming off of a very controversial loss to Amnat Wrong. He should have been the IBF champion. So Roman Gonzalez basically destroyed the IBF, the uncrowned IBF champion. Then who else he fought? Then he goes up and he fights Carlos Cuadras, who at the time he fought him was the #1 guy at 115. And he did it with no tune-ups. First fight at 115, no tune-ups, bigger man. Beats him. I was there ringside. Had him running on his bike the whole night. Beat him. And it was a really great fight. So after he beat Cuadras, I think like right after that, because that fight was in September of 2016. He fought Rongvisai in April of 2017. So I think they could have got the deal done. They had 3 months, at least 2 or 3 months, to get a deal done, and it never happened because they just couldn't come to an agreement. And even in 2014, even before that, like after Inoue had beat Narvaez, he could have fought Roman Gonzalez because Roman Gonzalez was calling the winner of that fight out, and it never happened. It never happened. Because before Roman even fought Carlos Cuadras, before Roman Gonzalez even fought Carlos Cuadras, he wanted his first fight on 115 to be the winner of that fight. So he actually wanted Inoue at first fight on 115, but most people don't understand or remember that. So that's when he could have fought him. To answer your question, LR, I have not had a chance to watch that fight. I'm probably gonna watch it before I go on my next hangout later on today. I'll be doing that later on today. Yeah, so I don't have an opinion on that fight. I do know that Donny Nietzsche won. And that's a fight I'm gonna go watch. I'm definitely gonna go put some time to watch that, and I'll probably talk about that a little more in my next hangout. So if you're gonna be back there for that, I'll be making a video on that, and I'll probably just make a video about it in general. The World Boxing Super Series at the moment, they were saying at the last time I heard anything was my last video I did when the fighters hadn't gotten paid their bonuses. You know what? Let's check. I haven't even checked myself, so you know. Thank you for asking me. World Boxing Super Series. Let's see. I mean, I haven't heard anything really. I really have not heard. I don't see anything new here on Google News, so I'm gonna assume nothing really changed. Yeah, and that's another thing. Gonzalez beat Juan Francisco Estrada, and look how great he wound up becoming, you know. And that's another guy that I know he could have fought was Estrada himself. So I'm just saying, man. Roman Gonzalez, man, he was that guy. He was that guy. Roman Gonzalez versus Kelly fight. I would love to watch Kelly fight and Roman Gonzalez. That's a fight I've been talking about for a while. I think Roman can still beat him. He's got enough to beat him. We actually, Pet, yeah, my main man, Pet, we did have a chance to watch Mayweather versus Nasukawa. I can't say his name right. Nasukawa. It was a fight that was a farce. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'll give you my little summary of it. You know, he was late to his own fight by 2 hours. Had his son, who was a rapper, walk him out to the ring. They gave each fighter a bouquet of flowers, and then Mayweather went in there, and the dude was literally just walking forward like this, and then he was throwing like these uppercuts. I thought he was Roman Gonzalez, so Triple G or some shit. The way he was walking him down, and throwing these punches, and you gotta keep in mind too, they were wearing like these like real small kickboxing gloves. So when you get a guy like Mayweather who's a professional world-class boxer, no matter how old or how brittle his hands are, dude, that's gonna feel like dangerous. Because for me, I don't spar anymore, but like I used to. But I have a bag in my backyard, and I hit it pretty regularly. I train in 16-ounce gloves, which are heavyweight gloves. And when I put anything below 16, I feel like I can legitimately hurt somebody, like anybody, like straight up. So that's how Mayweather had to feel wearing those on his hands. I can identify with the feeling. Early predictions for Marcus Brown versus Badu Jack. I scored a draw myself. Well, oh, he's talking about what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. Badu Jack versus Marcus Brown. That's an interesting fight. Now that fight is going to be interesting because these are both Badu Jack and Marcus Brown. They're both guys who have glass chins. Like neither one of them has a really good chin, and someone will land something. So I think that fight will end in a knockout of some sort, TKO, stoppage, knockout. It's going to end in a knockout. It's a tough fight to call. To be honest with you, it's a tough fight to call because I think, as far as the skill sets go, I think Badu Jack is the better fighter. I do think he's a better fighter, but Brown is the younger fighter. Brown is someone who, you'd be led to believe is coming into his own. So right now, I mean, I had to go. I'm gonna go back and watch some tape on them before I make my real prediction. But off rip, I would say I favor Marcus Brown very slightly. Roman Gonzalez has hands down fought better opponents than Naoya Inoue. That's not even a question. Shit, Roman Gonzalez has fought better opponents than Lomachenko. I'll also make a video about that. Like he's fought and beat better fighters than Lomachenko. A lot of fighters in boxing he's fought better fighters than. And I'm hoping in 2019, like that's probably like one of the main things I want for 2019 is I want Roman Gonzalez to be more active. If he's going to continue fighting and he has any ambition to be a top level fighter, I want to see him fight at least 3 times a year next year. I want to see him fight. He can fight 2 bums. I think he's on the right to fight 2 bums, but he has to have one significant fight next year. Yeah, Roman could beat Yafai. Yafai's nothing special. Yafai got outboxed his last fight. I thought he lost his last fight to what's the guy's name? Israel Gonzalez. Israel Gonzalez. That last fight, I don't know if you guys saw his last fight, Israel Gonzalez, but he lost that fight. That was one of the robberies of the year. When the dust settles, who will be the unified champ at 175? That's a great question, my man. Delita Harai. That's a great question, man. Let's look at it, man. Let's go to the rankings, man. Take a look. I want to make sure I don't want to forget nobody. I know we got BWA. I know we got Bivol. I know we got guys like that. Let's see, 175. So we got Bivol, we got Vazdik, we got Jack, we got Kovalev still in the mix. Hopefully Kovalev can win a big fight. Still with my man Kovalev. BWA, Barrera, Brown, Joe Smith. Honestly, man, I look at the landscape right now. Alvarez and Jack are both on the older side. Both can fight, are pretty good fighters, but they're both on the older side. Bivol is good. I think Bivol can definitely become. He has unified championship material. He's has potential to be unified champion, but I don't look at him as the class of the division. The class of the division to me, and he showed it to me in his last fight, is Alexander Vazdik, man. That guy can fight his ass off. I mean, when we talk about Vazdik, I thought this guy was the goods when I saw him fight Uniesky Gonzalez and guys like that, and I was watching how he was dispatching those guys with no mercy. And to see him go in there and fight, yes, an old Adonis Stevenson, an Adonis Stevenson that is, we saw in the Badu Jack fight, he is not his best anymore. But to go in there and to break him down and beat him the way he did, it showed me a lot, and it's going to be hard to unconvince you that man's of the class of the division. I really want to see him fight Sergey Kovalev, man. I want Kovalev to win his next fight against Alvarez really badly. I don't know if it will, because I think psychologically Sergey is not the same fighter he was. But if he can somehow find a way to pull it off, I would love to see that fight. Just so Kovalev can have one last shot and what I think would be a big fight. I mean, the Alvarez fight is a big fight, but that's really a big fight too if he can get to it. So I'm gonna go with Vazdik. I think Vazdik's a safe bet. That's true. He is. He does get hit a little bit too much. Yeah, he's the only man to stop Chilemba. And I think that you make a great point, man. Like he does stay on the line a little bit too much. He does have that kind of like what they would say that prototype, Eastern European like style. But he's deceptively athletic. Like he's pretty athletic. He moves pretty good. And I think as with time and experience, he'll make those adjustments. He's too smart of a fighter to not make those adjustments, and you won't see them as much. And no, that's not yeah, Pat, that you're right. Prograis is fighting Relic for the in the World Box Super Series. Yeah, that is. Man, to me, Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis is the fight at 140. Like, to me, it gets no better than those two. Prograis is such a slick, athletic, crafty fighter. Taylor is a rangy, long, dangerous boxer puncher with a lot of amateur experience to boot. I think it'd be a fun fight. That's one of the top fights I want to see next year, if possible. And yes, my man Mike Garcia, he's getting a little fat around. He's getting really fat around the sides. The guy looks like he went to Taco Bell and had himself 3 bowls of whatever. He had 5 bags of quesadillas. He had nachos. He had all that stuff. He's going to Taco Bell. He's going to Chipotle. He's going to all these different Mexican restaurants. He's going to La Bamba.
Hey, to be fair, Taco Bell is cheap though, man.
Taco Bell's cheap, man. So hey, he's eating ice creams. He's eating Taco Bells, and he's doing what he can to go in there and be able to have enough weight on there so that his knockout against Errol Spence, when he gets put on his ass, doesn't hurt as much. Let's see. They will both be juiced to the gills. That is true. They're gonna be juicing like a mother. Well, I actually had they were testing with Vada, so I mean, I don't think it'll be as easy. Who wins Povetkin versus Dillian White? Well, that's a fight that I just made a video about. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I want to lean towards Dillian White just because I think of the youth. I think youth is on his side. I think youth is on his side. I think the fact that he's coming into his own is on his side. I think the fact that Povetkin had just come off a knockout loss the first time in his career, that's also on the White side. So it's a good fight. But it's a fight where I think anything can happen because they do similar things in the ring. They're both guys that like to explore landing the left hooks. And I think whoever gets knocked out, it will be with the hook. So I'll go Dillian White. I mean, Luis Ortiz, look, I might be in the minority here. I don't want to see Dillian White fight Anthony Joshua. Not because I think it's a bad fight, just because I think, like, when we talk about Dillian White, when we talk about Jerome Miller, when we talk about Luis Ortiz, those 3 heavyweights in general, I think many of us can say that those 3 heavyweights right there are the consensus 3 best heavyweights outside the champions. And all 3 of those heavyweights have one thing in common, and that's that none of them have, like, beat a top-level heavyweight, And there's still a lot of questions about all 3 of those guys. Even Ortiz to some degree. Some people really aren't sold all the way on Ortiz, even though he fought Wilder, he stopped Bryant Jennings, people aren't really always sold him. So I think those 3 guys need to fight each other before we talk about them moving on to fighting Joshua or Wilder or Fury. I think all those guys should fight each other, or one of those guys should fight, one of those 3 guys, which would probably White versus Joshua. But I'm just saying, I would like to see White versus Ortiz, White versus Miller, White versus Povetkin. Those are the fights I'd like to see immediately. Yeah, man. I mean, when we talk about what are the most devastating punches in the heavyweight division, I mean, we got to say Deontay Wilder's right hand. We got to say Deontay Wilder's left hook. We got to say Dillian White's left hook's up there. You got Anthony Joshua's uppercut, Anthony Joshua's right hand. These are massive. Like, it's one of the most devastating weapons in the heavyweight division. I'll give Dillian White that much. That's why anybody he fights, whether I want to see it or not, anybody he fights, it'll be worth the price of admission. It'll be worth watching because there's always that threat that he can land that punch. My main man, 50 grand, Duke Odin. What's up, dude? How you doing? Floyd did beat a kickboxing bum. Well, not a bum. He's 32-0 kickboxing. He's boxed. He's a bum in boxing, not kickboxing. Gotta give him that at least. But yeah, that man has literally raped the fight game like no fighter before or after. Hey, fair play to him.
Damn. So you would say like rape?
He raped the fight game.
Oh yeah.
Like straight up, he raped the fight game because.
Yeah, like he has fighters thinking like taking the loss is scary or whatever.
I mean, he's got fighters thinking taking the loss is scary. He says, "Well, I want to protect my." Oh, that's not a good business decision.
Seriously.
White deserves a title shot. I mean, I'm not saying Dillian White does deserve a title shot. So look, if they're gonna make the Joshua fight, they'll make the fight. But I just really want to see him fight Jarrell Miller or Ortiz. Not even just for him, but for those guys too. Specifically Jarrell Miller, man, because this man he's not fighting nobody. He doesn't want to fight nobody. You know, anytime they bring up someone of note who's not Anthony Joshua, he finds a way to justify not fighting them. So I love Jarrell. I think he's a great guy, great person. I met him, interviewed him a ton of times here on my channel. You can go check those interviews out. But I just don't think he doesn't want to fight anybody but AJ. He should be playing soccer. He should be go to the English Premier League. I don't know if you guys saw Jarrell Miller on Soccer AM that highlights him kicking the soccer ball into the net. The dude could play for Everton. Everton could use Jarrell Miller. We need someone who can score some goals.
Bro, you know what, bro? I'm gonna join in, bro.
Okay, well, hold on. We got a special guest. My man Alex. He's been sitting here. He wants in on some of the action.
Yeah, bro.
Let's talk with Alex. Alex, sit down.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, my main man? 50 grand Alex is here.
Oh, wait. What's up, y'all?
Okay.
Right, so what are we talking about?
Okay, before we address their comments, I want to get your thoughts on Mayweather versus Nasukawa. What do you think about it today?
Bruh, really. Well, to be fair, bruh, like he made him $9 million in just 1 minute.
Yeah, 100, just about over a minute and a half. Shit, it takes me an hour to make $11 at work.
Damn. Yo, he trolled them too. He came like 2 hours late or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like
it's almost like he just gave everybody a big middle finger. He's like, yeah, I don't even retire. I'm gonna show 2 hours late. I'm gonna knock him out on the round, and then I'm gonna go pick up my check and go home.
Damn. Yeah. Oh, whatchamacallit? So I just realized if he can come back home right now, he'll have like 2 New Year's Eve parties.
That's right. Do you think that Nasukawa exaggerated any of the knockdowns? A lot of people are saying that they think he exaggerated some of the knockdowns.
The knockdown, yeah, it was sketchy. It was just like the way he was like.
Yeah. What did you make of him crying when he got up?
Man, you know what, man? Like, it's not even a real fight. It was an exhibition match.
It was real to him?
Yeah, exposure-wise.
He said he said before the fight, I can change the course history of one punch, and that's what I'm gonna do. He said that. I saw it on Twitter. Man,
listen, bro. Listen. I don't know what to say, man, honestly, but he got straight up embarrassed.
Oh, and you know what the messed up part was?
What?
Nasukawa was there in the arena for the whole 9 hours just waiting.
Damn.
Look, someone just said that. So it is what it is, man. Ped and Duke Odin say what's up.
What's up? Yo, I wonder how much did Nasukawa make?
I've been trying to find that out. I want to know how much he made. Yo, does anybody out there know how much Nasukawa? I was trying to look for it on the internet, on like Google. I looked for it on Twitter. The only time about what Mayweather made. But what about Nasukawa? Who was the guy who got embarrassed in front of his home country?
Honestly.
I mean, hey, Mayweather found out because he's got the whole country behind him. Remember when he used to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, Tiger's got a country behind him. Marcus got a country behind him. Nasukawa got a country behind him.
Oh yeah.
A whole country.
And he's probably gonna say like, "Oh, I went to some guy's backyard."
Yeah, hey, at least now we can say that Floyd Mayweather finally, all these years later, he went to somebody's backyard and beat him. Beat an undefeated champion in the backyard.
Yeah, bro.
I bet you if you go to the LDBC, there probably are some idiots saying that. But based on some of the shit I've seen on the internet today, I would not be surprised if I go on the LDBC right now and I see some shit about, oh yeah, he went to another guy's backyard and then beat an undefeated champion.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't want to say his name, but
you can say it. Speak freely. On True School Sports. Who with it?
Oh man, like he was just riding.
Talk about on the boxing boys. They were dick. I remember they were dick riding him today.
Yeah, man.
Yo, big shame on a big wag of my fingers to the boxing boys. They're straight dick riding Mayweather.
Yeah.
What were they saying? You heard more of it than I did. What were they saying? I was in the shower.
I don't know, man. He was just saying like it's good to have like the best fighter back in the world or something like that.
Yeah, they were saying they're like, oh yeah, it's so great and it's so remarkable to have the best fighter in the world back. The king is back, Mayweather,
and that he looked very good.
He looked so good. He still got it. Oh, he still got it. His jab is so quick. His feet work is so quick. Oh my God, Floyd. Oh my God, did you see it? Man, shut the fuck up. Floyd Mayweather ain't doing shit. He fought a guy who has no more professional boxing experience than I do.
Damn.
Fuck out of here. Straight up.
He didn't even have more boxing experience than me.
Yeah. Not even want to be like, yeah.
Seriously, man.
Josh, your friend Josh, has more amateur fights in boxing than Nasukawa. Well, actually, I don't know that. Maybe he had some amateur fights. But he had more, but from what we know.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair.
Ellie Sekbek said that this was the best Floyd Mayweather he had seen in a year. Return of the Power Punk. Yo, and the sad part is, like, these guys think they know about boxing. These guys think they know about boxing. They don't know shit about boxing. Hey, Ellie and the boxing boys don't know shit about boxing. Anybody sees this, go tell them I said it. They don't know shit about boxing.
Here's what I'm going to say. Because the exhibition match is basically a sparring match. If that's the case, then I guess Earl Spence must, like, really, like, you should, like, praise Earl Spence even higher now since he stopped.
Yeah, people are saying these guys had
like, seriously.
Nasukawa had as much boxing experience as me and you.
Seriously, man.
And truthfully, though, some of these sparring sessions that I've been involved in are probably a lot more gruesome than what Nasukawa has been through in a boxing ring. I can say that.
Bruh. I got a nosebleed, bro.
Yeah.
Look, come on, man.
But I wanted to address some of these other comments because one guy asked me about the featherweight division. Let's see. Who you got in Valdez versus Warrington? That should be going down in April or May. Now that to me is a very good fight. Very, very good fight. I'll ask Alex, who do you think won that fight? And why?
I don't know. I haven't really watched much of like Valdez's fights. I only watched one of his fights. That was the Genesis Cervania fight. And then I watched only I paid attention to the Lee Selby fight for Warrington. I didn't really watch too much of the Frampton fight. But I think it's going to be an entertaining fight.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. That to me is a 50-50 fight. I'm going to favor Josh Warrington in that fight because of one attribute that he has. I think the attribute Warrington has going for himself is that he's someone that he knows, like, Warrington is he has fantastic work rate. He knows how to push the pace. Oscar Valdez, and if you go look at any of his recent fights at top level, he's someone that likes to fight in close quarters. Like, he's someone that likes to be in wars. And I think that's going to play right into Warrington's hand. I see Warrington breaking him down. I don't know if Warrington will stop him, but I think Warrington will definitely wear him out. And I think Valdez is going to be feeling the effects of all these wars he's been having with Cervania, with, was it Selby? Not Selby, Quigg. So I'll favor Warrington just because I think his work rate will break him down in the later rounds. But if Valdez can find those right shots early going to the body, because he goes to the body really well, then I think he can change the fight around that way. But I'm gonna go Warrington. That's a great fight though.
Yeah, and Gary Russell has been like irrelevant in the mix. Like he only fights once every 13 months. And then you got Santa Cruz cherry picking again. So
yeah, Warrington to me is like the breakout fighter of the year. He's amazing, amazing fighter. I mean, if he goes, like, let's talk Warrington for a bit. If he goes and fights Valdez next, Selby, Frampton, Valdez, this guy's like the truest champion in all boxing right now. This guy is just like fighting all the best fighters available to him.
And I think I'm going on this box right.
Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr. would be a really good fight. Santa Cruz has a good work rate. Russell, someone like to pick his shots, and is the more athletic of the two fighters. I'm gonna go Gary Russell Jr. in that fight. I think to me, he's already fought a more intelligent version of Leo Santa Cruz in Jojo Diaz, and I thought he looked really good in that fight. So I think the kind of style that Santa Cruz brings to the ring will play right into Russell's hands. I think if Russell shows up, switched on, he should go in there and he should be able to not just beat Santa Cruz, but stop him. I think he'll be able to stop him. And you know what? You got to respect that. You got to respect Josh Warrington for that. This guy right here, Angel313, said that Warrington already said he's fighting Valdez next because he said he can't get up and work hard for BS fights. Which is, like that's how it should be. Like, if you know that you're not a fighter, why bullshit around? You know you can't work hard fighting the 50th ranked guy in your division. Well, just take the hard fight. If you think you can win the fight and it's not too much for you. He did, but I think Gary Russell, look, Lomachenko took his soul, but I still think the guy just on talent alone is beating a lot of these guys. On just pure talent. Straight up. On pure talent, he's beating a lot of these guys.
Lomachenko?
No, Gary Russell.
Oh yeah, Gary Russell.
And I don't even like Gary Russell like that. Personally, I think he's a parasite to boxing. But he's a good fight. When he's in the ring and he decides to come out of women's protection, he's a fantastic fighter.
I'll give you a minute, guys. I'm just.
Oh, I didn't. You know what's funny? I'm glad you brought that up, LR, because I didn't even realize like that Valdez had switch trainers. It seems like everybody's going to Canelo's trainer these days.
Oh, you want to say Canelo's trainer?
Supposedly.
Ryan Garcia.
I'm gonna be on here for like 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get off. But hey, this hangout is really fun. For those of you who don't know, who may have missed what I said earlier, I don't know if he's gonna be here later, but I'm gonna be doing my 2018 year-end awards, and it'll be live for that. So if you want to know who I thought the best in what certain areas of boxing, and you want to debate and you want to talk some more boxing, we'll be back later on.
Oh, okay. So what are the exact categories?
We're going to have Fighter of the Year, Fight of the Year, Trainer of the Year, Prospect of the Year, Knockout of the Year, Disappointment of the Year, Disappointment of the Year, Duck of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have that one. We'll have, yeah, just stuff like that.
All right. I already know what he's going to have for Duck of the Year, bro. But it's,
How do you know? You don't know. It might be someone. It might be different than what you think. Although what you're thinking is it's going to be it's a top choice. It's up there.
I'm trying to think.
Abel and Gigi made a move for Canelo. Called him the Ginger Snap. Comeback of the year, yeah, all that stuff. So be here for that. Gary Russell looked really good against Jojo Diaz. I remember a lot of people picking Jojo Diaz to win that fight. I picked Gary Russell.
Oh, for
when they fought each other, I picked Gary Russell. I said, look, Gary Russell. I think he's too talented, and I think he'll get up for this fight because Jojo Diaz, he knows Jojo Diaz is actually a quality fighter.
Oh yeah,
he'll get up for it.
Yeah, I just wish he was more active. Honestly.
Yeah,
but no, it is.
Yeah, so we'll be here live for that later on. I also want to let you guys know if you want. Hey, look, the channel got some great things coming up in 2019. You know, it'll be my 4th year covering boxing. My fourth full year covering boxing.
On 2019.
2019. 2018 was a bit of a setback. I had some personal problems going on that kind of hindered me this year. But, man, 2019 going to be an amazing year. Going to be a really, really good year. So, yeah, if you want to help the channel move in advance, look, I don't beg. I make my own money. I have my own job. But if you want to support the channel, you know, hit that super chat, that little money icon, and donate as you feel led to, if you want to.
Many more comments? I'm out there.
All right, it's Real Wrestling Podcast. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, we'll definitely see you later tonight. And it should be fun. I might, I'm gonna try to watch the Donnie Nietes Ioka fight, and I'll try to have my post-fight video or like a good breakdown of that later on. There's still videos coming out though. I know videos be dropping left and right on my channel, so. Oh yeah. There's that. I'm gonna be. I mean, if it's what, I'm not gonna be, because right now in America it's 2 p.m. your time. So if I go live at 8, it'll probably be like 2 or 3 a.m. in your time. So I'm gonna be a little late. So I mean, I don't know if you work or if you got a job or whatever. I'm not gonna tell you to stay up for me, but if you find up staying up, you stay up. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna get off now, but it's been great talking to you guys. We'll be back later on. I'm gonna go make the schedule thing for the hangout. So you'll see your notification. You can set a reminder for yourself once you see it. So just be alert for your subscriptions. And I'm gonna get off. So you know, for my main man Alex, it's your boy BT. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was my take of the Mayweather Nasukawa fight. And we'll be live later on for our 2018 Boxing Awards here on True School Sports. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. I'm just kidding, Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.